Hello, welcome to Pro Mixing and Mastering. Today we are doing mixing in Cubase 5 from start to finish. This is gonna be in parts, so make sure that you watch all the parts. I have already created the groups. As you can see, there is group number 1 for the lead, group number 2 for the backings, and my FX, which is of course delay and reverb. Double delay, I'm using double delay, and the type of reverb that I'm using is H delay. And to get the, if you want to like just always get your reverb, just put 1 milliseconds, just type 100. Your reverb is just gonna work all the time. Inserts, no plugins whatsoever. Also in group number 2 I have no plugins, so this is gonna be an interesting journey on how I do my mixes. And the other thing that I want to show you is that during recording, now this is something that I want to show you guys. In your stereo in, during recording, put a compressor. This is gonna help your vocals look like this. Your vocals are just gonna have that punch, are just gonna be controlled a little bit. So this is how I love to record my vocals. I always add a compressor in my stereo in so that the vocals can really sound much better. So, and the compression is not too much, so make sure your compression is at least 2:1 or 3:1. I mean, this is how the song sounds like without any processing.
Aleso amaka tata sumbulweni Aleso amaka ndeti sumbulweni Nate mwefyo mwara Mwali kwati sholuse Nate mwefyo mwara Mwali kwati sholuse Aleso amaka ndeti sumbulweni Leso amaka data sumbulweni Nate mwefyo mwama Mwali kwati sholuse.
The first thing that I want to do is come to group number 1. This vocal right here is connected to group number 1. So let's go into our inserts and see how we can EQ the vocal. I don't want the vocals to sound too sharp. I'm aiming for a warmer vocal. So before you like start EQing, think about what you want to achieve. So like me, I want to achieve a warmer vocal. So how do I do that? I'm gonna use an EQ. So let's go ahead and use an EQ, and the type of EQ that I'm gonna use is to channel strip, and then I'm gonna use SSG channel stereo. All right, so this is the EQ that I'm gonna use for now, just to control the tone of the vocal and all that. So let's go ahead.
Aleso amaka tata sumbulweni Aleso amaka ndeti sumbulweni Nate mwefyo mwara Mwali kwati sholuse Nate mwefyo mwara.
So as you can see, I have my filters lifted up. Like this one is on 13.2. This one helps to like give warmth to the vocal just a little bit or more if you increase it. So with me, I'm gonna set it on 16.0, and then I have my filter. I have rolled off a little bit, cleaned up the vocal just a little bit, given it 66 dB somewhere there hertz, just to clean up the vocal a little bit. I think this helps you start your vocals on a good foundation. So let's go ahead and do the rest.
Aleso amaka tata sumbulweni, aleso amaka ndeti sumbulweni, natemwefyo mwawa.
Whenever you want to add air to your vocal, this is a go-to EQ. It really helps your vocals just to have air. So whenever you want to add air to your vocal, just raise up the high filter a little bit, just like that. With me, around 6 dB somewhere there is really sounding great.
Aleso amaka tata sumbulweni,
I think you gotta put it where your vocal really like starts sounding great. So with me, I think around 8 dB. I've added a 2 dB to my 6 dB. It sounds nice right there. And if I feel like there is need for it to be reduced a little bit, I'm gonna reduce it. So let's go ahead and do the rest.
Aleso amaka tata sumbulweni, aleso amaka ndeti sumbulweni, natemwefyo mwawa, mwalikwatisholuse, natemwefyo mwawa,
remember, we are aiming for a warmer vocal, so this is what we want. We do not want our vocal to be overcut. We just want our vocal to like sound really punchy and great. So the reason why I left this first part select effect type 1 is because I'm gonna add a compressor which is gonna help me raise up the volume of the vocal.
Aleso amaka tata sumbulweni, aleso amaka ndeti sumbulweni.
You gotta cut a little bit of high mids, just a little bit. I've given it negative 3.8 because I do not want those frequencies to be raised up. I want the frequencies to sound warmer. So this is why I have cut just a little bit of that 3 dB right there.
Aleso amaka tata sumbulweni, aleso amaka ndeti sumbulweni, natemwefyo mwawa, mwalikwatisholuse, natemwefyo mwawa, mwalikwatisholuse. Aleso amaka tata sumbulweni, aleso amaka ndeti sumbulweni.
And now what I've done is just to raise up the low mids just a little bit, 2 dB, to make the vocal sound round and a little bit punchier. Whenever you want to add body to your vocal, raise up around the low mids and give them a 2 dB, positive 2 dB. It really gives a lot of body to your vocal, and your vocal is gonna sound punchier and, you know, more confident.
aleso wamaka tatasumbulweni, aleso wamaka ndetisumbulweni, natemwefyo mwava mwalikwatishuluse, natemwefyo mwava aleso wamaka tatasumbulweni.
And now you have seen me do this and just give this other knob 1.86 dB just to help the vocal sit in the mix a little bit more. And of course, I can now send my EQ to the dynamics, and I'm gonna see how the dynamics are gonna work. So let's go ahead and send what I have EQ'd to the dynamics simply by turning this on. So let's see how this is gonna work.
Aleso wamaka tatasumbulweni, aleso wamaka ndetisumbulweni, natemwefyo mwava mwalikwatishuluse, natemwefyo mwava mwalikwatishuluse, aleso wamaka ndetisumbulweni, leso wamaka tatasumbulweni, natemwefyo mwava mwalikwatishuluse, natemwefyo mwava mwalikwatisha, aleso wamaka tatasumbulweni, aleso wamaka ndetisumbulweni.
A little bit of those dynamics just by raising the ratio to 2.2 and threshold around -5.0 really does a lot. What this is doing is that it's controlling the highs and the lows, all right, and also just compressing the overall vocal.
Aleso wamaka tatasumbulweni, aleso wamaka ndetisumbulweni, natemwefyo.
And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the type 1 and put in a compressor which is going to help me raise up the volumes just a little bit, and the type of compressor that I'm going to use is compressor de-esser. Compressor de-esser helps to like raise up the volume. I think this is one of the compressors that just helps me to bring the vocal to the level that I want the vocal to be. So let's go ahead and raise the volume of the vocal just a little bit.
Aleso wamaka tatasumbulweni, aleso wamaka ndetisumbulweni, natemwefyo mwava mwalikwatishuluse.
See what has happened? Just by raising this one up, dropping this one and giving it -0.75 dB, -7.5 dB, and a ratio of 1 to 1, really does a great job, and you can feel the vocal like coming in and just having that power.
Aleso amaka tata sumbulweni. Aleso amaka ndeti sumbulweni. Nate mwefyo mwava mwali kwati sholuse. Nate mwefyo.
And of course, always remember, whenever you are working, save your work.
Aleso amaka tata sumbulweni. Aleso amaka ndeti sumbulweni. Nate mwefyo mwava mwali kwati sholuse. Nate mwefyo mwava mwali kwati sholuse.
Part number 2, we are gonna continue, so make sure you watch part number 2 where I continue with other plugins. Remember, this is mixing from start to finish, so I'll see you in the next part number 2.